Hey, Shalom, Markins, Vakama Kapash from Jim Eslan, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful that expression is truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video. This is just going to be a quick one. Brother posted this up in the chat, and it sounded interesting to me, so I decided to look into it to see if this is actually going on or not. But I'm going to read this post first. It says Canadian municipality now requires a QR code to enter or leave. A Canadian town in the Gulf of St. Lawrence has become the first municipality in the country to officially require a QR code to enter and leave. It says the very first QR code prison is in Canada, right? So it's not quite the prison that they're trying to make it sound like at this moment in time, but you can see how it could be, right? It's what which was what I was gonna address in the video, right? So we all know Esau's desires, to have this population or what remains of it after this war, right? To have complete control over these people. Okay, to put them into small groups in the we know about the smart cities or the 15-minute cities that have been popping up here in the UK and other parts of the earth, right? Esau wants control manipulation, right? And the MOTB system, the mark that these people are gonna take is gonna play its role in that, gonna play its part in that. As the QR codes is another technology that's obviously used to read and to scan things, which the people use today, right? But these things are gonna be inside the body in the form of these chips, and right now, QR codes are scanned through your phone and whatever, right? But I did a little bit of digging, and to verify this what was going on, right? And it sounds to be true to a degree, mostly, right? So this is from Times Now. This Canadian town makes QR codes mandatory for visitors. Right? Know why? A far remote Canadian municipality has imposed mandatory QR codes for people to enter and exit. Right. So I guess what this is kind of equivalent to is having having to have a passport of some sort to move in your own country, right? Because it's an island around Canada. They're not attached to the mainland, so to go there, you have to take a trip, right? Boat, whatever. But upon arrival, okay, you have to scan to enter and pay a fee, a $30 fee. Apparently, I'll get that in a minute. To enter into your own country. Now, if you're out from outside, this probably wouldn't be such a big deal because you kind of would be used to it because you have to show your passport to get into another country anyway. But again, upon arrival, you have to come and pay this fee and scan some QR code to get access to this particular island. So, like I said, you can see how they could use this in other places, right? As they go on to speak, you know, taking these 15-minute cities as an example, right? Because they they don't want people moving around a certain particular type of way, right? They want everybody kind of located, situated in a single place. And if you don't belong in that city or that district or whatever the case may be, they can deny you access. They could, right? Checking points and all that kind of stuff, and either have you locked in, you can't leave, you have to scan out or whatever, or you can't enter, you can't scan in. If they wanted to, if your MOTB that you got denies you that you're from this region, you're from Sector 12, all that stuff, right? Like that was it, District 13. I think that's the movie's called. Right, you can't move. You can't just freely move, and even in Hunger Games, you can't just freely move around. You can see how it could be used like that, right? But let's read a little bit more of this. It says with this, the Canadian township Îles de la Madeleine has reportedly become the first country in the world to make QR codes mandatory for visitors. Residents of the remote island won't have to go through the QR code sign up, right? So people that living on the island, right? But would need to present their driver license as proof. So even they got to show a level of ID, I guess. right? It's just not as not like this, right? So that a far remote Canadian municipality has imposed mandatory QRs for people to enter and exit. Yes, you heard it right. The decision was taken by a local body government of Les de la Madeleine Island in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Prior to this, the visitors to the archipelago in Quebec province were asked to pay a $30 fee as well, as per reports. Residents of Ile de la Madeleine have been expressing their anger on social media, and some of them have even dubbed the move as the very first very first QR code prison of Canada. Right, so this is where the video came from, right? For people saying this. Right, so however, it is to be added that these codes only apply to tourists entering and exiting the island, contrary to the claims made online, right? So it's for visitors, right? So I'm guessing if you don't, I mean, you probably have to pay the fee as you go in, right? But imagine you didn't want to pay, well, you're not going in. Or if in some, some version of this, maybe you go in and, to get out, you have to pay the fee and you didn't pay. Well, you wouldn't be leaving. You'd probably be arrested or something, whatever the case may be. So you can see how they could, do this if they wanted to. And who knows, man, Esau, you know what Esau's on. Right, so with this, the Canadian township Elise de la Madeleine has reportedly become the first country in the world to make QR codes mandatory for visitors. Residents of the remote island Slovakia won't have to go through the QR code sign-up protocol, but would need to present their driver license as proof. Notably, the municipality has a population of 12,000 people and is the first in Canada as well to bring QR codes for visitors entry or exit. Let's see. So yeah, here's that post from here, right? The report added that the scheme was initially intended for residents too. After they opposed the QR codes and refused to comply with them, the decision was confined to merely tourists. Right? So they did have ideas to do the residents as well. Several videos of the residents, as well as one particular from an unidentified assembly of people purportedly discussing the impact of QR codes, have gone viral on social media. Okay, which is what I'm sure I'm getting this from, right? So, all right, so that's the article here. So, I believe I was reading another one that was saying, other places they could adopt such, because they were saying the reason why they needed to do this was because tourism was a big thing for them, and they got more and more people coming and using more and more resources, and they've got no. Well, apparently this is a way to help, the fee and all that kind of stuff to help preserve all of that, and to control the amount of people coming over because it's getting oversaturated apparently. So, but what they were saying was that other places could adopt the same way as adopt the same things, to control and to raise money to preserve their island or whatever country, whatever, right? So don't be surprised if you see it pop up more. And like I said, with in connection to the MOTB, right? And we know Esau wanting to restrict your movements, to lock you down, right? It wouldn't be surprising, right? That what turns out to be merely just for the for tourism just becomes a standard way of living. Esau could do that, right? So I'm gonna get this from 2 Ezra chapter 15. I'm gonna get from 14, right? It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? This whole place is gonna go to shit, man. This world is gonna dive into chaos, and Esau's gonna try and bring some level of control, right? To bring it back, right? And this is where you're gonna be getting the people to take the MOTB and having that's going to bring you all kinds of restrictions, right? As we're going to read in Revelation 13, right? It's going to bring all kinds of restrictions, right? Not just the fact that you can't buy and sell without it, right? But even where you go, what you're doing, what you have, how much you're drinking, and all these things that these ships can monitor. Right? There's going to be all kinds of restrictions, right? So where you are on the planet, where you can go on the planet, planet being is being a bit bold, isn't it? Your area, your region, right? Maybe a lot of you won't even be able to go nowhere at all, country to country, right? But anyway, this is a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because you're going to be prevented from entering, prevented from exiting, right? And we know that there's going to be blockades and things like that, checkpoints, and you physically you're not going to be able to go there because you're going to have armed men, along certain junctions and all that kind of stuff, But in an ideal world for Esau, that will be dealt with electronically, you know. He's trying to he's setting up a whole system for you to a prison planet essentially. That's what he's doing, right? And you ain't got the right credentials to pass and to do nothing, man. When you're checked, So because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. So that time's coming, and like I say, if Esau was able to go fully into his new world order, then this is the sort of system that he's created, wants to create. And the WF keeps telling you, man, you own nothing and be happy. It's just Esau is looking to take everything away from you and have you living on minimal. Not quote unquote enjoying life. Where people get to go on their holidays and whatever, right? That would all be dictated to you by the state, by Esau, right? Revelations 13 and 16. And he calls them all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? This MOTB, okay, that's coming soon. It's the RFID or the NFC microchip, right? Coming soon. These governments are going to be requiring you to have one inserted into your body, man, right? Elders and apostles, beginning of elders and apostles in GMS, we always keep telling you that. Okay, it isn't anything else. The mark of the beast isn't anything else, man. So when you see, that, the MOTB being pushed and encourage you to take it, okay, just know, man, you don't really want that. It sounds like all the, there's a bunch of upsides to it. Okay, ultimately it's got one massive downside to it, and that is whoever takes that mark is going to be destroyed by the Lord with fire. So if people are going to take their risks out here, right? But it says, and that no man might buy or sell, right? So without you can't buy and sell anything, right? And really gonna be coming into a time of turmoil where it's gonna be hard to get anything, and the only way you have to get it is if you got this mark. Okay, your money's not gonna be worth anything, and it's just not gonna be easily accessible, right? But obviously the government's gonna make certain amount of promises and whatever, and so a lot of these people are gonna be on board and taking it because they're gonna need to eat, to survive, and get medication and water and so on, right? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So, but again, these things, these RFID chips, these microchips, these are multi-purpose, man. They're able to do many different things. So restricting movement is one of them, or it can be one of them, right? And even in this time of turmoil here in Egypt, okay, when the people were selling themselves for grain, right? When Pharaoh, or when they sold their land to Pharaoh, what did he do? Right, I'm gonna get the point here, right? Genesis 47 verse 20. And Joseph brought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field because the famine prevailed over them. The fact that these men needed food so badly, right, that they sold everything and themselves, right? They became slaves unto Pharaoh. And that's exactly what the same thing, these people will be doing in this modern time when they decide to take that MOTB. right? They would have sold themselves to Pharaoh and everything that they possess, right? It says, and as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other. He relocated them and put them in different places on the earth, well, in Egypt, right? But it's the same now. Like Esau's planning these 15-minute cities. He's just gonna put you one of those, man. You know, he gonna move people, right? You're gonna relocate people, and yeah, like I said, don't be surprised if you know you got to scan in and out, you know, and maybe you're not allowed out. Maybe you've been denied travel. Maybe you're on a blacklist. You know, maybe your social credit score is not good enough, so you don't get to leave. You know, people don't come in. Maybe your family is somewhere else. You know, maybe your parents or whatever is somewhere else, and they can't come. They can't come in. Maybe you're permanently separated. You know, you can see him doing all of this. Okay, these are designs that are in the works. Okay. Now I'll close out with this from Psalm 64 and verse 2, right? It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, right? So I say in secret councils, among these elites, man, they have these discussions, man. They have these plans. And you know, they slowly implement them, right? But there'll be a catalyst. When all hell breaks loose, there'll be a catalyst to move these things forward. Right? So they encourage themselves in an evil matter. Sorry, verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, right? To oppress everybody, man, to oppress the poor, to make everybody poor and oppress them. Right? They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares, privily a trap. Okay, it's nothing but a trap. They say, who shall see them? Right? Because the people are ignorant out here. Okay, they're being pushed from left to right. They're being guided along this path, which is going to lead them into this trap. Right? So they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Right? So to think that they wouldn't do something like this is nonsensical, man. Because this is the devil that we're dealing with. Right? His thoughts have been on nothing but oppression, man. Nothing but being covetous and taking everything. Right? That is his thing. Right? So to believe he wouldn't do something like this, man, people were saying that, the things that we're having to do now was unthinkable before. That people wouldn't, these leaders wouldn't do these things. We're doing them now. Right? So it's progression. It's just progression for him. He's gonna do more and more because he can, right? So they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. All right, and that's pretty much it. So, I'm gonna end it there. The this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. So till next time, I say shalom.